Hi guys, so today we are going to talk about money laundering. Why money laundering? Because we as finance professionals and responsible citizens have a duty to report this kind of illegal wrongdoings in our society. So to first understand how do we report that and how we will identify that, we need to first understand the basic concepts of money laundering and how it is done. So let's take the basic meaning of money laundering first. So money laundering is nothing but the process to try and conceal the funds coming from an illegal source of activity and laundering it to make it seem like it is coming from an legitimate source of business. It basically has three stages: placement, layering and integration. We'll understand it with a very relevant example which we'll all relate to. So I'm talking about the famous Breaking Bad series in which the Walter White laundered money using this car wash business. So let's go to the three stages to identify how Walter White did it. So the first stage is placement. In this stage, money comes into the business. That means money is introduced into the business from an illegal source to a legitimate business. This is the first stage of money laundering. So in case of our Breaking Bad example, what Walter White did is introduced his drug money into the car wash business and mixed it to make it seem like it is coming from the car wash business. So the second stage is money laundering is nothing but layering. Layering involves a lot of complex transactions and making it a complex web. So the authorities are not able to identify the original source of funds. So the accounts or the money is wired to different accounts or to conceal the original source of funds. So in case of our Walter White example, what Walter White did is with his associate Saul Goodman, as we all know as Better Call Saul, what he did was transfer the money into a lot of offshore accounts and shell companies, and it seemed like the money is coming from them. That is how he layered a lot of transactions into that one amount of money and make it seem like it is coming from them. The third stage is nothing but integration. What integration involves is getting the money back into the legitimate economy and making it seem like it is coming from legitimate business. So in Breaking Bad, what Walter White did is he made a lot of investments in his car wash business from the money that came from the offshore accounts, and he used this money to make the investments in other properties and land as well. So the returns coming from them, it is now seeming like it is coming from a legitimate business. So this is how the money is first introduced in the business. It is layered in a complex web of transactions and it is coming back into the business into a legitimate way. This is how money laundering process is done. So we as individuals or we as finance professionals and auditors have the responsibility to track these expenses and track the entire web flow of the original source of funds. So the companies do a lot of activities to identify this. One of which is having a tough internal controls and having employees trained about this money laundering practices and how can employees find it. The second one is appointing an independent MLRO. So what is this MLRO? MLRO is nothing but the money laundering reporting officer to which the employees of the company can report the transaction or is any suspicious transaction in which they feel that there is an illegal activity going on. So this is how money laundering is done, and this is how the companies are trying to curb these practices of money laundering. Thank you so much. Happy learning.